Hello, everybody! I am pleased to announce I got a new microphone. I'm not really sure how good the mic quality is, but I don't know. I'm quite happy because it's one of the portable ones, so I can make videos on the go now. Also, I'd just like to say that I'm back in school now, so I'm not really sure how uploads are going to be. Maybe they'll be slower, maybe they won't be. I'm not really sure if school is going to be stressful or not because currently at the moment all I do is play Papa's Pizzeria on the school computers. Anyway, today's video is going to be about river stages and landforms. If you didn't watch part 1 of my river videos, I suggest you do just so that you understand the general vocabulary I'm going to be using in this video. Also because I need views, so please do that. Okay, so a river has 3 main stages: the upper, the middle, and the lower stage. The upper stage is where a source of a river can be found. Rivers form on high ground and then gradually move down onto lower ground. It's easy to remember the upper stage as being the source of a river and everything because it's up high. Anyway, the upper stage is basically the starting point of the entire river. It's got very steep slopes and it has vertical erosion. Vertical erosion is erosion that goes straight downwards. A landform which features vertical erosion is the waterfall, which can also be found on the upper stage of the river. Another landform is the V-shaped valley, which is also at the upper stage of the river. V-shaped valleys form when rivers flow on mountain terrain. With the influence of gravity, water current is a lot stronger, and it's able to cut into rock a lot easier. Now, as a river begins to flow onto lower ground, a waterfall will happen. This happens when the fast water current is falling onto lower ground. In the process, it cuts through rock and, falls. The waterfall transports water from high ground to middle ground. However, because the high ground has such a strong force, it falls onto the middle ground with a strong impact. Eventually, this will create a plunge pool. A plunge pool will create a lot of material as it's a feature of erosion. This material allows for abrasion to occur later on in the river. Now, the middle stage. The middle stage is where tributaries and meanders can be found. No major change in landform really happens here. It's usually just the river kind of changing direction or expanding maybe. A meander is a bend in the river course. The river begins to erode laterally in this stage, which means from side to side. The river may begin to erode more from one side than the other, causing the river flow to then focus on that side. It'll then cause the river to go from a natural straight line to kind of a bent line. For example, the river starts to erode more on the left. The river will then begin to flow more to the left side, but it'll also begin to deposit material onto the right, causing the river not to actually widen, but just to completely change direction. As erosion continues, a meander is actually able to completely cut off from a river. As the neck of the meander narrows, it may eventually just cut off, causing the river to continue into a straight line. Because the river is no longer following the bend of the meander eventually just becomes a feature of deposition. Deposition occurs and the meander turns into an oxbow lake. With no connection to the river, it kinda just becomes marshland. The soil here is waterlogged and unusable for crops. Tributaries also form in the middle stage, but they're kind of just secondary water sources that connect to the main source. There's nothing really complicated. As a river gets older, it'll connect to the sea or just a bigger mass of water. In the old stage, the landscape has pretty much been eroded to a very flat area, causing a wide floodplain and a delta to form. A delta will form as the fast-paced river connects to a slower, larger water mass. The river slows down and it's not strong enough to basically carry this large material with it. So a delta forms as the river pretty much abandons any material it's been carrying all its way. If you ever lost something in a river, it's most likely it ended up here. All the river material is deposited here and creates wetlands. This is large amounts of deposited material, kind of creating small islands, I guess. This material may include silt, clay, small rocks, dirt. The delta is pretty much just wetlands that form as the river empties its deposits before entering the sea. Okay everyone, I have to go now, so I hope that helped. I have to go to work. I hope now you know the 3 main stages of a river, so I hope that helped, and if there's any topics that you want me to cover, please let me know. And yeah, goodbye.